Which of these countries has the best snacks? We have our Korean savory, sweet, and weird. And the weird, I am really not looking forward to trying. And the weird, I'm really not looking forward to. Seriously, that stupid freaking flea is still in here, bro. And I don't mean the Red Hot Chili Peppers bass player. Oh. Yo, what is up, my friends? It is great to see everyone. Let's check our angles. Let's check our audio levels. I think we're looking pretty good. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday night? I know this is our very first split stream because we have always had our live streams on Friday nights where we talk about current events and all kinds of crazy stuff. We try snacks. We show off some random cool crap that I just have in my office. And we've just decided to split the stream. So now Tuesday nights will be news night, and then Friday nights will just be bad movie bingo. So double the fun. Let's go. This is so fun. I wish it was already Friday, but unfortunately, no, it's only Tuesday. But it's Tuesday night, which means we're doing some current events. And yes, we are going to start off talking about an update on some interesting Bricks and Minifigs footage that has just come out. Some new, not body cam, but camera footage of Bryan Mansell's original collection and everything that was taken, as well as, are these lights pumping on me, dude? I feel like this light is pumping, dude. Freaking pumping. What? All right, let's turn this big boy down. How we looking now? That's a little nicer. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about some new footage that's come out from Bricks and Minifigs, as well as an interview with the original Salem, Oregon owners of the Salem, Oregon store where the giant Star Wars Lego collection originally disappeared. We're going to watch an interview with them and react to that. We're going to talk about some gaming news and some interesting things that are happening in the gaming world right now. And then we're going to catch up on some San Diego Comic-Con because I'm a huge nerd and I really want to talk about that. So anyway, let's see who's here. Yo, William, what's up? The Flash, Cool Master's here. What's up? And Terry, how you doing? Who else is here? Leave a comment, hit that like button. Let me know that you are here and you are excited. Dude, I'm excited for this Tuesday night stream. This is going to be a lot of fun. Ma, what's up? Eating peaches from a can. Hey, it's kind of fun. I don't know. Very wholesome and whole food. I love it. Love it. Good job, Ma. All right. Well, let's jump into some fun stuff. All right. So I just briefly want to watch this. This comes to us as part of the Bricks and Minifigs saga. Now, it's been hotly debated what actually was in Bryan Mansell's collection. We now have video evidence based on the social media posts, some unedited footage, some previously unreleased footage that shows us exactly what this collection looked like. Now, we're not going to spend a ton of time on this, but we are going to check it out. And yes, we are going to watch this on about 1.5 times speed. It's only about 4 minutes-ish. But yeah. Actually, before we jump into this, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on this week for me. So this week is very exciting because a big project that I and everyone I know has been working on for over a year. We thought it wasn't going to come out, but I have an announcement. I'm not going to give any details because I don't want to be the guy that but you said it was going to be this. Well, there is a reason. All I will say is that there is a very specific and exciting reason that Lord Zed is on the set today. And I will leave it at that. So I will leave it at that. You'll have to see, because it's not technically my announcement to make, but when these episodes do release, I do have a very cool behind the scenes video that I'll be releasing on my channel as well to show you guys a little bit of what goes on and all of that stuff. So fun. So fun. All right. Let's look at some comments here real quick. In a factory downtown, put there by a man. Yes. I can neither confirm or deny that, Cool Master. The Flash, I wanted to say something about this last stream. Oh, about this last stream, but forgot. My friend went to a Comic-Con where we both live, and he got me a signed Power Ranger pin from Jason Font. Oh, that's awesome. Actually, Jason Font is one of my very good friends. So I'm so glad that you were able to get a pin from him. He's a super cool guy, and I'm hoping later on this year to have him on the stream or in a video. So we'll see. I have to ask him still. He has not said yes yet. So, but yeah, I think when we do it, it's going to be funny. But yes, so that's the first big announcement. Let's talk Bricks and Minifigs, and let's check out this collection. Now, because this collection has been so hotly debated, I think that it's appropriate for us to take a look at this and see exactly what was missing. Because I don't know if you're like me, but if you are, I didn't have, hey, POV world. So if you're anything like me, you're listening to this Bricks and Minifigs versus Reckless Ben versus CEO Ammon Mcneff whole situation, and you're like, okay, I understand that this collection was worth like $100,000 to $200,000. I get that. Conceptually, I understand. But it's really hard for me to visualize what that looks like. We have some new video that shows exactly what that looks like. So here it is, and here we go. So if you ever wanted to see what $200,000 in Lego looks like, here it is.
So I think it's safe to say we have just a few new in-box Star Wars sets. Still in the process of getting them organized.
Look at all this.
Getting them up on the... But they're here, and it's a lot. Come on in and see what we have. All right. It's time. We have it up in our private room. ready to introduce you to this amazing collection.
Crazy,
It's a little
dude.
overwhelming to see in person, and some of this stuff will go fast. It's been amazing.
Look at this. Just like, look at this screenshot right here, dude. That is an obscene amount of Lego sets. Like, that is wild.
Assortment of
Okay.
sealed, retired Star Wars sets. We're open today from 10 until 6.
Sealed, okay, which raises the value a lot, and retired, right? So all of these Lego sets that you see are sealed, in box, brand new, and out of print. So you talk about the ultimate version of each one of these that would have the most value. It's this. And when I'm looking at this footage, man, I'm
We'll be back
looking at this and I'm
tomorrow,
thinking, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, dude, how does a collection like this go missing? Like, how? How is it possible?
I wanted to give you a sneak peek of something that we are rolling out special for Rose City this weekend. I can confidently say this is, without a doubt, the most amazing Star Wars Lego collection I have ever gotten my hands on.
And just for everyone's reference, this is Crystal Law, who was the former owner of the Salem, Oregon Bricks and Minifigs, where this entire collection, which you can see is gigantic, was lost. Now tell me, okay, you have some loose Legos, right? This contested bag of minifigures, it was like a giant bag or potentially multiple bags, allegedly, that was worth like 50 to 80 grand, right? It wasn't factored into CoffeeZilla's numbers, which is why it's hotly debated. I understand a bag of minifigures going missing. How the frick does this go missing, dude? This is an entire, like, this is like 2 Bricks and Minifigs locations worth of Lego. Like, how is this going missing? How do you not know where this is? Now, there is something very interesting. Let me do this full screen. There is something very interesting about this footage that I'd like to point out. Now, if you notice in this clip, okay, the Salem Bricks and Minifigs went to the Rose City Comic-Con, right? It's a Comic-Con near them. And if you don't know what a Comic-Con is, it's a comic book convention where a bunch of people get together. San Diego Comic-Con, right? Hall H, where they announce all the new Marvel movies, DC movies. They just did, a couple trailers for some shows, announced a bunch of different things. That's a comic convention. And it's where people dress up, they make huge show TV, whatever, celebrities come and they sign stuff, they give panel talks, they do all that kind of, it's super fun, okay? I've been going to Comic-Cons for like, probably, do I want to say this out loud? I've been going to Comic-Cons for probably 25, maybe 27 years. I was pretty young when I went to my first Motor City Comic-Con in Detroit. And I think I've gone to that particular show like 25 times. It's pretty wild. But this is what's crazy about this, right? This is interesting because if you look, you see that these are some discontinued Lego sets that Crystal and her life partner, Ben Gorman, took to the Rose City Comic-Con. Now, why is this important? Well, Comic-Cons are very busy and they're very often disorganized and pretty wild, okay? There's a lot of people coming in and out, a lot of people checking out your booth. Sometimes you hire people that have no idea how to work a register. You just have these little square readers that like you tap a credit card on. Now, I am on Crystal's side. However, I know from experience having a resale booth at a Comic-Con that when you're selling stuff, a lot of times your inventory system is not perfect. And you don't always know what you're coming home with versus what you left with, especially if you have a store that is constantly running, right? Because I guarantee when they left Comic-Con, they had to take this stuff back and then they had employees watching over it, right? Could there have been some Lego that was sold and not reported? Give me your opinion in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what you think. I just think when I'm looking at this video,
So if you get a chance and you want to check out some of these hard to find retired sets, we've got Brickheads, we've got Polybags, we've got the new Marvel Figs.
when I'm looking at this video and seeing that they went to a Comic-Con, as much as I'd hate to say it, that's a little bit of a red flag for me because things could easily get lost in this context. And that's what's a little bit challenging about this is not a great look for them, but I do appreciate that we're actually getting to see what these sets looked like. I mean, I appreciate this music, but like, dang, did they have to go so hype, bro? Did they have to go so hype? Wait, what the frick is this? What is this set? What is that? Like an ambulance ship? Who would want that? And look at this dinky droid. It looks like a rectal thermometer. All right. Look at this. That's the dumbest designed ship I've ever seen in my life. I think you get the idea. So the crazy thing here is that not only are we seeing what was actually misplaced, but then we get something very interesting at the end. And this part is the reason that I wanted to play this video in the first place. It's the Phantom 2. Okay. All right. Got it. It's a ship from Star Wars Rebels. I get it. That doesn't mean I like it. All right, watch this.
Yeah, that's fine. So we're both here. So like what she's printing off is previous records from the cells. Just so she has our see what's that's right.
Yeah, otherwise I won't know. These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay.
So this is the infamous video where Brandon Best is taking over the Salem, Oregon store from Crystal. She had no idea he was coming. He just showed up and said, "We're taking over the store." We've seen this. We've seen part of this video many times, but not the entire thing. And this is the whole thing. So I'm gonna roll this back and we're gonna watch it on normal speed. I think this is fascinating. And like some of the things that we've been watching over the past few days, oh, it's old news, commenting. Here's the thing. It's not old news if it's new footage that gives more context. I'm sorry. You may say that Amanda footage that we watched, not the Amanda show, that we watched on Friday was old news. But the thing is, that added a lot of context, in my opinion, right? Tell me what you think in the comments. No, it's great. I don't mind a lore dump. It's a repainted Separatist shuttle. Okay. I mean, for everyone that knows about Star Wars, I'm sure you're happy. All right, here we go. Let's watch this.
Hear about the tie on this.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we're both here.
So we're
So
both
what
here.
she's printing off is previous records from the cells. Just so she has a receipt of what's due, I guess, right?
Yeah, otherwise I won't know. These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay him.
Okay. So Crystal, ultimately, that's a business thing and not necessarily yours. Brandon will take, because taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment liability.
Brandon. That's what corporate just said. Brandon Best was supposed to take all of this on. Now, we know from a context standpoint what is just outside that window. A U-Haul. What did a former employee say was in that U-Haul later that night? A bunch of sealed old Lego sets. Okay.
I want to go through and figure it out. So, I gave you the mailbox and the silver. And then the keys for the back storeroom and the safe are in the safe. Yep.
Why is that important? Why is it important that she said the keys for the safe and the back storeroom are in the safe? Why is that important? It's important because that's where Bryan Mansell's Lego collection was being held. Now, they said that some of it was being held in a off-site location, is what the prevailing theory is. However, they may have had more sets of his in the store because what was shared much later is that all of it wasn't just in an off-site location. There was a good portion of it that was actually in the back storeroom and the safe. So the reason it's significant is because Brandon Best, Mr. U-Haul over here, had access to some of Bryan's Lego sets that were in the store, and he had a key to get to them. So the idea that Crystal stole them or Reckless Ben stole them could not have happened because the only person in this store with the key when this stuff disappeared and a U-Haul that was then packed full of old Star Wars Legos was Brandon Best. I'm having a freaking aneurysm. How could anyone think that it wasn't him? How could anyone say, oh no, it must not have been him? I don't think it was him. He was just the only one with the key. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool, man. Anyway. Amy, yeah, this part enraged me. They knew what they were doing. This was premeditated. Now, I don't know for a fact that it was fully premeditated. And I guess as an aside to that, I don't know that they even they knew the consignment deal was there, but because they didn't do the third-party inventory investigation, they never knew which sets were Bryan's and which sets were theirs. The main problem is Bryan, when he heard that this happened to Crystal and Ben, not Reckless Ben, Ben Gorman, her life partner, husband, whatever. When Bryan heard that this happened to her, he immediately started calling the store, sending in his inventory spreadsheets, and saying, hey, I have a consignment deal on this contract, which he also sent, saying, here's the Legos that I gave to you. I'm sorry, Lego. Here they are. This is what I have. No one checked on it. Nobody did anything with it. That spreadsheet was already in corporate's files. But Bryan sent it to them again anyway, just to be like, hey, we have this. I haven't been paid for this. What are you going to do about it? They laughed him off, said they have no idea what he's talking about, did not do a third-party inventory investigation. What do you expect to happen? Yes, that red face is perfect. That red face is perfect, Okie and Becky. Can anyone confirm the rumor that Kai got demoted for being caught making them look like the liars that they are? I can't confirm that. I don't know that that's the case. Actually, you know what? I can probably look it up, because if he was demoted or fired, then his LinkedIn would reflect that. All right. LinkedIn, Bricks and Minifigs. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's Kai McAllister. Let me see. Oh. Now, I don't want to go too hard on this information. Because it is from Google AI Overview, which, yeah. But what I'm seeing here is that Kai McAllister, the former director of operations for Bricks and Minifigs Official, deleted his LinkedIn profile amid a public controversy and legal dispute involving a local franchise's handling of a customer's massive Lego consignment collection. Now, that's from Reddit, right? But that's pretty crazy, dude. Like, and it's actually kind of funny, because I actually said in my first video, this guy's gonna get fired. I'm kind of sad I was right. But yeah, Kai McAllister. That is wild. That is wild. Yep, and that is confirmed. His deletion of his profile is actually confirmed. So that's pretty bad. I was wondering, though, because it really seemed like he was speaking out of turn, right? It seemed like that to me. And so maybe he thought he could say that they were taking it over and that they would take over the consignment deal without full knowledge of what he was saying. But that's me trying to give someone who's part of an evil corporation, and I mean evil, the benefit of the doubt. And I don't want to do that. So, sorry, Kai. You lost your job. But when you're a jerk, what are you going to do? All right. Their credibility is so bad, they might automatically sink the criminal trials as well. Well, I mean, what could they bring in the criminal trials that would allow them to win anything? I mean, seriously, like, what evidence do they have of Ben, Reckless Ben, stalking, harassing, threatening them? What evidence do they have? Because they don't have camera footage. So are they going to show Ben's video as evidence that he's stalking them and harassing them? Because that's all the evidence that you have. That's the big problem here, you guys. Ben has all of the body cam, the CCTV, the hidden camera in his glasses. He's got all of that footage, which means if BAM is going to pull out evidence, Bricks and Minifigs, all they have is Ben's footage, because Ben is the one who's been cataloging and recording this whole thing. Now, maybe there's some police body cam that Ammon Mcneff could pull out in a trial, but it's all going to say that they didn't find anything, and he's just going to expose himself, hopefully not literally, with like false reporting and lying to obstruct the police investigation and all these things. Like, there is no evidence that he could put forth that would allow him to win in a trial. I'm not kidding. The only thing that he could, like, if the McNeffs win this any lawsuit against Reckless Ben, if the McNeffs win, it is because the only evidence they slid across the table was a $100 bill. They bribed him, is what I mean. There is no other way. There is no other way. Many times he got too casual and did not think it would ever be shown in public. Well, you can say that. You can say that he never thought it would be shown in public, but how do you explain then the police body cam footage, which all of that is always released online, but two, how do you then explain him going on like CNN, Fox News, and all these other outlets to do damage control? Because he knew that would be televised. He knew getting interviewed by CoffeeZilla, that would turn into a video. Like, maybe he didn't know who Reckless Ben is, fine. But if you're on the internet and CoffeeZilla emails you and he's like, hey, can I interview you? You don't even need to watch any of his videos. Just type in CoffeeZilla, do 1 second of research, and you'll be like, oh, this guy's an internet detective that destroys scammers. I better not get caught in a lie. Oh, crap! Too bad. He did. Nah, fam, a 20. That's funny. Ammon and Kai are different. Yeah, Ammon and Kai are different people. They're absolutely different people. Ammon Mcneff is the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs. Kai McAllister was the, what was he? He was like operations or something like that, or whatever. I just read it and it left my brain. But oh well. Now, this is the footage. This is the footage that pretty much everybody has seen. However, what everyone hasn't seen is a great channel by the name of the Husband and Wife Law Team. I watch a lot of their videos. This guy is hilarious. Also from Michigan, same as me. And he reacts to like sovereign citizen trials, all that kind of stuff. He got the opportunity a couple days ago, like 1 day ago, barely 2 days ago, to interview Crystal Law and Ben Gorman. We're not going to watch all of this. It's kind of long, but I found a lot of their answers fascinating. A lot of people now are putting in my comments and many of the other comments, I've seen them, speculating that maybe this all was Crystal's fault. Maybe her accounting, her bookkeeping, all the, well, what if it was all wrong and she actually just pocketed the money, but because corporate is so evil, that's blinding everyone. I've heard that theory. It's really hard for me to believe that theory purely because these people seem cool, dude. These people seem cool. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good metric to go by, but the court of public opinion is swayed pretty easily. It gets thrown around a lot, but Ammon hits on so many traits of NPD. You need a doctor to confirm, but really you don't need a doctor. That's true in a disguise. I agree with you. Everyday people don't understand. Anyone can get, yeah, that's true. That's true. But at the same time, Freedom of Information Act stuff pretty much always comes out on the internet. So if he didn't know it was going to be on the internet, he's just an idiot, which I think we've pretty much is established as a cold hard fact. But all right, let's watch this interview. I'm pumped to watch it with you. Frick.
One or two things that you're like, these are the so-called facts that are not facts.
There are two things that I continue to see
Huge.
repeated no matter
huge.
how many times I try to correct the record. And that is, we do have a signed consignment agreement with Bryan, a legally binding. Not only try to watch everything that's coming out, but I try to stay engaged with everybody that's been so supportive.
Somebody did a
Oh, what the heck? Why did that? It just
That's
like
right.
reloaded and rewound it.
We weren't making payments to him.
you've got a really, really strong case against us. They just wanted us to disappear.
The common phrase that's used.
Okay, I want to look for that part again. I don't know why it jumped. But
That it was.
yo, Roofer Terry. Thank you for being a friend. Appreciate you. You are amazing. Thank you. I will dedicate a segment of the show later to you. Just to you. Thank you, friend.
Private contract between myself as a person and Bryan as a person, or that there is no contract out there. Bryan has a copy of it. I have a copy of it. Our attorney has a copy of it. I believe the Kaiser Police Department has a copy of it as part of all of that. Corporate has never once reached out to me to ask for it, but the contract exists.
And yet corporate has made a whole bunch of comments with innuendo and suggestion.
Corporate is using a rough draft of the consignment agreement that they pulled from the Salem email account that Bryan had sent before we signed it. So that's not the signed version. I had sent back notes about things that needed to be changed. So they're operating under a first draft. And then
Okay. That is big. So what Bricks and Minifigs corporate is trying to claim is like this deal that wasn't legal. It wasn't. That's not even the real deal. That's what they sent them to, guess what? Get their approval, which is what they're supposed to do. And you know what happened? Crickets. Nothing happened. It's like a freaking, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Well, apparently not. Apparently, if a tree falls on a Bricks and Minifigs location, it doesn't make a sound and nobody's there. I don't know. What am I even talking about?
acting like that is the final draft.
And
when
one
it's
of
not.
those substantive changes was
The
in his
LLC.
original draft, he wrote, oh yeah, and you sign it here as, Chris
And
Gorman.
me pointing out that
She
it needs to
said,
be the LLC.
No, this needs to be with the LLC.
Yeah.
I don't know that BAM knows that. They
They
ought to.
should. They're in the comments and they're watching all of these videos. By now, they should know.
Did they ever call you before? Because there was over a year. There was over a year where
Never.
Bryan was trying to get this handled, right?
Never.
And that's the difference here. That's the big thing here, okay? The big thing and the reality is Bricks and Minifigs corporate never did their diligence. They never did it. They never went in and checked everything and asked her, "Oh, I saw you have this contract. It's not signed. It's what is this?" They just operated under, I don't know. And that will make it so we don't get in trouble. Yeah, that holds up in court. I have no idea is not a good court defense. Sorry.
Before it hit people like me, and before the world knew, did corporate ever call you and say, hey, this dude is alleging that
Never.
Bricks and Minifigs, they never even asked.
Not to this date.
Yeah, they never have contact.
Not us, not our attorney.
And so they didn't want to remind us, hey, you've got a really, really strong case against us. They just wanted us to disappear.
The common phrase that's used throughout most states and in many situations is knew or should have known. In other words, this would presumably be the first phone call, email, or letter from them to you saying, this dude, Bryan, has made this allegation. We don't see that in the system. Is it true or false? It is blatantly true, inarguably, that there is a written agreement that was made for the entire consignment agreement.
Yeah, and they were informed. That's the other thing.
They were informed
They
that
knew.
night.
And I think they're afraid of adding more evidence that they knew by contacting us, but they were informed and we had a lot of
They also knew about the consignment agreement when it began.
even before that. So they have no grounds to say they were unaware.
You said there were a couple of factual
The
things. That's
second-
it. What was the other?
second- The second is also related to that consignment is
So I want to just talk about Terry's comment right here. So well, let's just grab these. Anyone that signed the BAM owner's manual contract is very bad at business. It was Luke and Vader in Cloud City type of deal. Yeah, exactly. Like, we'll rule as father and son. Yeah, sure. I think that Crystal should have called Bryan and I mean, he's referring to the Cloud City deal between Vader and Lando, I'm assuming, where this deal just keeps getting worse all the time. Anyway, it is not a contract. I think that Crystal should have called Bryan and said, hey, we are going to sell. You may want to come get paid and grab what's left. I'm an antique dealer and I deal in vintage precious metals and coins. I know this, if it's ultra rare, you will get more than book value, but if you have something that's not so rare, you're not going to get the book value for it. Yes, of course. That's pretty much how everything works, whether it's action figures or Funko Pops, precious metals. We just went to a gem fair a little while ago. Same thing, right? Frickin' gem fair. Anyway, you know what BAM is going to say in court in front of the judge? Evidence, schmevidence. Yeah, that's exactly right, right? Like, the thing here is that they absolutely had a signed contract. They absolutely did. But because BAM Corporate has its disgusting predatory practices, they not only took their store and Bryan's Lego. Again, I'm just agreeing with what's in this interview. Nobody even asked them. Nobody even said, oh, what is this thing? What is this consignment thing? This guy is alleging this. They just ignored it. You're stupid. I'm sorry. You just got a business. You just acquired a business and you're not even going to ask. You're not even going to ask, like, what's the deal with this consignment contract? You just don't even care. You're not even going to ask. It's insanity to me.
this idea that I've seen repeated online that we were behind in payments to Bryan or that we weren't making payments to him. We were not behind in payments. His next payment was due November 15th.
Huge. What she just said, now obviously this has to be corroborated with some kind of evidence, say receipts or purchase orders, sale orders, that kind of thing. Not purchase orders, but you know what I mean. This is huge because she just said, oh, we paid him up to the date and he had another payment coming. But I didn't know what it was because they didn't let me get the numbers. Right? Like, oh, I agree with you completely, Terry. This is the most crooked business I've ever seen. I'm surprised these buildings can even stand upright. They're so crooked, dude. It's gonna frick. I'm so mad right now, actually. I'm actually getting super heated. Anyway. It's also hot in this room. I have a lot of lights in here. You know what I mean? Like this room has a lot of lights. But the greatest light of all is friendship. Anyway, all right, let's keep going on this. This is a crazy interview, dude.
Took the store from us November 14th and said Brandon was taking on all of the consignment liability. It was no longer my responsibility to make that payment to him.
Brandon,
She said the 15th, right? Wait a minute, everyone. Wait a minute. Hang on. Yeah, ceiling fan. Hang on, everyone. I have another theory. Now, Crystal has just debunked my theory that she still owed corporate money and that's why she did the consignment deal. I'm glad I was wrong about that. That's great. She said he was supposed to be paid on the 15th, right? That's what I heard. I don't want to speculate. Let's listen to this again.
On November 15th.
So Bryan Mansell was supposed to be paid on November 15th. Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson. I feel like I'm uncovering a bombshell. You can't hear it or see it. That's right. Okay. So listen to this. Listen to this. Check it out. Check it out.
That I've seen repeated online that we were behind in payments to Bryan, or that we weren't making payments to him.
Listen.
We were not behind in payments. His next payment was due November 15th. They took the store from us November 14th and said was taking on all of the consignment liability. It was no longer my responsibility to make that payment to him.
Brandon will take, because taking on the business, he takes on all that. That's not
Previously,
Whether that's true or not in a disguise, here's the thing. Okay. This case has a crapload of coincidences. He was supposed to be paid on the 15th. I don't care if it's 90-day lead time, whatever. That actually does not matter for this. He was supposed to be paid on the 15th. Corporate acquired the store the night of the 14th. So the night before this guy was supposed to be paid, they took over the store. Now, am I supposed to truly believe that corporate had no idea, that Bricks and Minifigs corporate had no idea that Bryan Mansell was supposed to be paid the next day? Because now it makes sense. Because my initial question was like, how would he even know unless Crystal called him and explained their entire franchise agreement? Why would Bryan even know that this happened? And not only that, why would he care? And everybody's like, well, Crystal should have called him, whatever. Why would Crystal call him if she thought that Brandon and Josh were going to take on the consignment? Why would she ever even talk to him again? Now, I think she did, and we'll hear that later. But the crazy thing here is they took over this store the night before Bryan was supposed to be paid his next payment. Now, are we supposed to be so stupid that it's a coincidence? Or did corporate take over this store earlier than they were supposed to because they knew that a bunch of money was going to go out of the store the next day? Tell me in the comments what you guys think. I don't know, man. Every time I hear more evidence, it just seems like every single thing was premeditated. Ding, 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 Amy Bailey 5355. Ding, ding, ding.
at night I was talking to Kai on the phone and Brandon in person about what was owed to
Kai, who we establish does not work for Bricks and Minifigs anymore. Ha ha! Suck it, loser.
him, how to find what was owed to him, how to identify everything that belonged to him.
He has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay him.
We were not behind in payments. That payment was due the next day, and that was corporate that night with their termination agreement within the franchise agreement itself took on full legal liability of that. When you seize a business, when you seize an LLC, you cannot take responsibility for the assets of that business without also taking legal responsibility for any of the liabilities due.
Because if you could do that, by the way, for the people out there, you guys know this, for the people out there going, why can't you do that? Otherwise, every business would operate that way forever. I'll set up a business, I'll have someone else run it, and then I'll take just the money owed to me, but nothing I owe, and I would be more profitable, and every store would do that every year. So,
well, it's a complete skirting around any of your liability payment. Like, oh, if we do this, then we're just like anything anyone sold to us or is in the process or whatever, we're just going to take it because we didn't know. The other question is, how many times has this happened? We're learning, and Reckless Ben in his part 4 video will show us many times. And the stories never got this big. So these people lost their freaking shirts on this franchise that just got stolen. Absolutely perfect shell game. They most likely said, hey, Bryan, give us a few days to pay you. And they never did. Well, we know that happened, right? Because that's what they did to Reckless Ben. Josh Johnson kept calling Joshua Johnson and saying, okay, where's the Legos? When are you going to pay us? When are you going to do this? And Joshua Johnson would be like, I don't know, maybe this weekend, maybe next week, maybe never. And then he was like, just keep calling him. And what was the thing that they said in part 3? They said, well, it's been so long, we're just not going to send them to you now. It's been so long, you're not going to send me my $200,000 in Legos? That's not a thing that expires, my guy. That's not a deal that expires. Holy crap nuts.
Reason why they can't do that type of behavior in most settings, and definitely not here. We see you on the phone. You have in front of you Brandon. Somebody is on the phone and you're having the conversation, and you say in that conversation, there is money here that hasn't been paid yet on consignment. And the reason is not because we're behind in payments, but because we pay on the 15th of every month, and they swooped in and took the store on the 14th. So what I was telling them was, we have made some sales and you need to make sure this gets paid because it's not due until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And people have misconstrued that as not only that, but corporate has made statements that I wasn't paying him.
Well, sure. And that is a very easy defense for them to make because there's no way. I mean, well, there's a way to prove it, obviously, from them, but people aren't looking into Crystal and Ben, not Reckless Ben. They're just not really looking into them, right? And then when you start digging into them, it's like, I mean, maybe they missed a sale here and there, but they were pretty much on time and their books were correct. Now, I know that Ben Gorman is a subscriber to this channel. He's a good friend, not a good friend of mine, but a friend of us because he's subscribed to this channel. And anybody who subscribes is my friend. Welcome, friend. Anyway, I know that he's subscribed to this channel, so I wouldn't be surprised if he watched my last video where I theorized that they actually owned corporate money, and that's why corporate took it over. Well, over the last 3 days, we found so much evidence of BAM Corporate just doing this to franchisees for any reason at all, which to me says, similar to what some of the comments are saying, they were probably planning to take this Oregon store for a while. They might have just not liked Crystal and Ben and been like, yeah, we're going to take this store from them. We don't care about their $200,000 franchise deposit. We don't care about that. But when they said they were leaving the country, Ammon Mcneff, the CEO, says, oh crap, they're leaving the country. We got to do it tonight. Also, they owe this guy a bunch of money and they're going to pay him tomorrow. Let's steal their store. In walks Brandon Best, taking over the store. Kai McAllister, who we later found got very fired and or demoted, talked out of his butt and said something that was not going to happen. They did not take on the consignment deal, as we now know. But looking at all this stuff in hindsight, I don't know, man. This is pretty wild. This is very much uncovering a disgusting, destructive business structure that will never be honest, never be set up in a way to succeed for the franchisees. Which is kind of what you need to do if you're in this sort of corporate structure. Unless you're a dirty, rotten scoundrel like Ammon Mcneff.
And so people have put those between those two together, that I was late on payments or behind on payments or not making payments to him. And that is false.
Another thing I think that complicates it is the way that the payments were structured was they were kind of in a 3-month rolling system. So you were getting paid for something, what you were owed 3 months back. And that was because when we started taking it on, there was, this is a pretty normal structure, for example, in the publishing industry, where you're dealing with like returns, right? So it looks like, wait, why is it that after all this time we'd paid this much? Well, that's because there's a 3-month roll.
So there's a 3-month window, essentially, because of the small amount of sales between the first comic convention, for gift card payments, for...
Yes, and that's fine, and I understand that, but that does not negate the fact that he was owed a payment that next day. Regardless of when that payment was from or how it was calculated, he was owed that payment, and he never got it and never got any subsequent payment. So it wasn't a 90-day window. It was a 0-day window because you weren't getting your money. That's the problem here.
Payments for any returns and anything that was purchased using trade credit. And so there was that 3-month window. We were not behind. We were...
That was a U-Haul. There was one. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On schedule. I would have made that payment to him the next day.
I have 2 major things I want to go over with you. Let me start with the one that might be bothering you guys the most, or maybe you're like, thank goodness you're asking, I want to refute it. Reckless Ben recently in an interview saying,
there's an equal chance.
Tattle was the store's bird. And there's like a movement going on, justice for Tattle, because there's reason to believe that they may have not taken care of this bird properly, which is, I don't know, add animal abuse to everything else for Ammon Mcneff.
Previous owner stole some, and the new owner stole some.
And then combined with that was that at some point, you guys located some of the Lego that belonged to Bryan and his father. And then you said, look, we found it. We're going to make sure you get it. You went through everything you could go through. But the combination of finding that Lego, which some people might go, well, that's great. Shows how honest they were. However, for the people who hear what Reckless Ben said, and listen, I've been pretty vocal. I never knew who Reckless Ben was before all this stuff.
Same.
And I give him credit for using his platform to try to help people, because we need more people who are willing to do that. So I don't know the guy.
Exactly.
I don't know his motives, but I can say here, I'm very glad that he outed someone, but you guys fall under the umbrella of the potential someone. So when you hear people say that, your reaction is what?
Yeah.
I'm going to answer this one because Ben's natural inclination is always going to be to defend me. And I'm going to save you from that. I'll be honest. When somebody sent me, I was at work, somebody sent me that video and said, go to this mark. How dare he, basically. And my first response from that was not pleased.
I was furious.
I was not pleased. I have now since come around. I can understand why he said it. I may wish he hadn't, but there's a lot of things that that I wish people weren't saying. But I can understand essentially on twofold of that. And I think you'll understand one part.
I think the problem, right, and the thing here is that these people, I don't know, right? There's so much ambiguity in this case. I don't know that these purples. I don't know that these people, Nala's puppy, purple. I don't know for a fact that these people are telling the perfect truth, or if they even know if they are, right? There could have been a couple sets lost that they don't even know were lost, right? And it could have been under their care. Anything could have happened. And that's the problem with this smoke screen that Bricks and Minifigs corporate has created, which is, of course, to their advantage, because now people don't know who's actually wrong, even though everyone knows Mr. Lego Brick is wrong. But that's my name for Ammon Mcneff, the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, because we made a music video. So if you want to check that out, you can watch it after this. Yeah, so I understand where they're coming from, and I probably would have been mad also if I heard Reckless Ben say that, well, maybe the old owner stole some, maybe the new owner stole some, right? And that's kind of offensive, especially when Crystal and this Ben Gorman have tried to be very honest, tried to just share their thoughts, been above board, which I appreciate a lot. And I think everybody else does too. The thing is here, though, it's so ambiguous, you kind of can't be mad at it, right? When people don't know the answer to things, especially when it's a burning question, they're going to make up answers. And the problem with the internet is that there's a lot of groupthink on the internet. There's a lot of people that are like, well, I think this way, so I'm not going to do any research. I'm just going to get into whatever echo chamber will affirm my theory. So that's how you get things like what Crystal is talking about right here, which is, people just accuse her of stealing some too because we just don't know. We just don't know what happened, thanks to Scamming McTheft, which I did not make up, but I wish I did. All right, in a disguise, it is true. As far as Bryan was concerned, it did not matter who took the Lego. Someone took his Lego and he got nothing. And BAM HQ kept saying it was Crystal to Bryan. Well, now it is about credibility. At least they seem honest. BAM HQ has no credibility. They've been caught lying too often. And that's what I think. You can dislike Crystal Law and Ben Gorman all you want. I've said many times, Ben Gorman reminds me of the lead singer from Disturbed, which immediately makes me endeared to him. But you don't have to believe these people if you don't want to. I think that they are revealing too many things that make them look bad to not be honest, right? They have shared every mistake they've ever made. They have put forth every piece of evidence, every receipt that they possibly could. They're doing their best, and that's what I believe. I don't know if I'm right. I might not be. I don't know.
This much more than the average viewer. Reckless Ben has always been clear from the very beginning that he is doing everything that he's doing for Bryan Mansell. We have been clear about that. He's been clear about that. We know that. But also, like, as a journalist, he has to maintain that sense of neutrality. You know, the things that we can prove that everybody hasn't already seen yet.
Okay. No, I know. I know there wasn't sound.
Going to come out, whether it's in mediation, discovery, in court, in front of a jury. However,
sorry about that, y'all.
Hasn't come
Click
out,
the wrong
like,
button.
He's operating under what he has, what most everybody else has seen. So I can understand him not wanting to say very clearly, while wishing he hadn't phrased it that way. I can understand why he would want to maintain that sense of, you know, journalistic neutrality. As a human, not like I wasn't super happy about it, but as a journalist, I get that. The other side of that is corporate, like BAM is attempting to make this civil RICO case and claiming that we are colluding. There are even perhaps some claims that we are paying Reckless Ben to make corporate look bad.
Or he's paying us, it's not clear.
Or he's paying us, or Bryan's paying us, or we're paying both of them. Corporate has even tried to claim that our attorney is somehow in on the collusion, that it's all a grand scheme of I mean, I'm sure you saw the TRO and the RICO filing. We were all over the filing itself, but not actually as named defendant.
You want to know one of the reasons, and I can't speak to their motivation, but one of the reasons people make allegations like that is to try to get your lawyer off the case. They try to turn a lawyer into an interested party or interested witness, and therefore try to suggest ethically, and then they will sometimes, in situations like that, file motions with the judge and say, Judge, their lawyer needs to be removed, which of course would be at huge expense to you, because all of a sudden now you have to pay another lawyer to get up to speed if you can even find that other lawyer.
See, that's why I watch this stuff, because I had no idea that that was the tactic. They were trying to get rid of their lawyer so they couldn't mount a defense against them. That's fascinating.
can't speak to why they did what they did, because it was definitely a what we call shotgun litigation. In other words, it was not a rifle shot, right? It was everyone's doing everything, we're clean, in a verified complaint that later was admitted to be not fully accurate. But that's neither here nor there. Well, depending which complaint we're talking about.
My only wish in that was, I wish he had said, I mean, you know, something to the effect of, I'm sure that's possible, but there's no evidence for that, and there's lots of evidence on this side, you know, like.
He did follow up by saying, but she's been very transparent.
Yes, yes.
And she's always been open to trying solving this. And then Bricks and Minifigs just calls the cops on me every time I try to solve it with them.
When you left the store that day, what percentage-ish, and you can, I'm not asking for 27.6 or 82.3, but how much of the collection that Bryan had given you was still in your possession and had not yet been sold?
I'm glad you're asking, because this is important for folks to know.
I actually, I don't
this is
have the
big.
spreadsheet in front of me.
It's minuscule though. It was what was in, because it was what was in the garage that was from the convention, and as soon
Yeah.
as we found that, we returned it.
That was the other
Yeah.
that was the other part of the question that you had asked previously.
The,
Like, I
the
don't
recovered Lego, like, because
Yeah.
what happens with this, and I'm going to ask you it this way, and I'm going to ask you it like I'm their lawyer. Ready?
Yeah.
For a long time, this process was going on, and you pointed the finger and said, I gave corporate a spreadsheet, corporate came in, it's on video, and then fast forward, and it's like, oops, we actually have some
Dog.
It's in our garage. How can you explain the statements you made before and reconcile that with the fact that all of a sudden you're giving these new Lego, you know, to Bryan going, oops, our fault? For
Huge. That's a good question.
someone who doesn't believe you, that looks like you're not telling the truth.
Right,
That's-
especially, and I understand if it was, you know, if it was a third of the collection was in our garage or something, that would be a nightmare. We're talking.
Oh yeah, but let's not use subjective numbers. So yes, corporate had access to that spreadsheet on the store's Google Doc. Corporate,
Which, by the way, you had created. Did you know they were coming in that day?
no. So that spreadsheet, I created a copy of the one that I was working on. Was it September? I think the date on it was September, because Bryan and I had spoken, because we were coming to the end of the consignment agreement. He wanted a good sense of where we were at, what was sold. So I created a copy to email to him. So when corporate says multiple sets of books, it was literally a duplicate of a spreadsheet. The sets that were returned to Bryan, we would take his sets to comic conventions. We had two companies that were doing comic conventions together, are Not a Pipe Publishing and Bricks and Minifigs. And so we would get booths together. So we would separate out what convention stuff was for the store and what convention stuff was for the publishing company.
Now, let me break that down really quick. You guys separately own the publishing company.
Yes.
We both owned both.
All right. Thanks, Terry. And thanks, Cool Master. See you guys next time. Peace.
Businesses. So we both own. So I am 49% owner of Not a Pipe
And Terry, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Publishing. He is 51. And then for Bricks and Minifigs, I was 51%. He was 49%.
When you guys would go to a Comic-Con or whatever it was,
Yeah.
you would bring product. Some of that product belonged to your own set, the publishing company.
Yeah.
Some of that product belonged to Bricks and Minifigs, also your company, meaning
Yeah.
the franchisee portion of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you would have to keep track of which was which.
Yeah.
And then, so
I mean, it's books and it's Lego, so that wasn't,
oh, so
you know,
pretty
that
easy.
wasn't. So we just get an extra large booth, and so half of the booth would be the publishing company, the other one would be the Bricks and Minifigs. The whole reason this entire thing started with corporate coming in and seizing the store is we had planned to move to Europe. You know, in hindsight, we probably, because financial constraints, we ended up coming back, but we moved forward with the plan, thinking that corporate would abide by the franchise agreement, give us the inventory, make things right. And so we moved forward. And it was as we were going through and packing up the house to figure out what to donate, what to sell, what was getting thrown away, all of that stuff.
Oh, Bricks and Minifigs didn't give them their pants back? Ugh, that sucks. Dang. Sorry, guys. Got to move to Spain with no pants.
We finally got into the very back corner of the garage where all of that convention stuff was stored in totes. And so as we're going through all of that stuff, then I found the tote that had some leftover sets from the Bricks and Minifigs portion of the convention. And then I reached out to Bryan. And then there was, because he was already dealing with corporate and dealing.
So this is exactly what I was talking about before. When you take stuff to Comic-Cons and you set up a booth, it is very easy to mix up inventory and to leave things behind and to not know exactly what you sold, because cons are very chaotic. So this is exactly what I was talking about before. I don't know, man.
Kaiser Police, it was coordinating when's the best time to meet up. And so we had 13 sets that were on that inventory spreadsheet. So anything outside of those 13 sets that M&R purchased were never on that inventory. There were 13. I have the numbers. Bryan and I sat down and actually signed a witnessed thing with the list of sets, the list of minifigures, and then there was a tote of 300 and, I have it written down back there. I believe 347 minifigures that were duplicates of ones we already had in the case. So they were never actually added to the inventory because I just hadn't gotten around to, because they were duplicates. If we had sold out, I would have added them to inventory and priced them, but I'd never just gotten around to inventorying.
And to be fair, you didn't know that corporate was going to come in that day and say, we have your store.
Exactly.
Bryan also knew all of those minifigures had not been inventoried yet. It's really easy for other people to sit back and go, but you had them for a year. How didn't you get around to them? They were duplicates. We didn't need them yet. It wasn't a focus. If we had needed them, I would have done them. Bryan knew we had the thing that wasn't. It's easy to sit back from, hindsight and say, I would have done this differently. I would have done that differently.
Well,
And to also be fair, this wasn't a situation where everything was blowing up when this happened, right? Everything was not public yet when this was happening. So the fact that she found 13 sets and then returned them, people are like, well, that's horrible. You kept some of his Lego sets and stuff. Not exactly. If they were duplicates, like we saw in that footage that I showed before of all these Lego sets, they had a dozen of some of these sets, which means if there were 6 out on the shelf, why would you ever bring the other 6 out of storage? If they weren't selling, you just wouldn't. And then you'd forget about them. I mean, how many projects do you have around your house or at your job or wherever where you're like, well, I guess I'll get around to that. And then you forget because it's not a high priority, right? Now, this is a little different, of course, after it blew up. But prior to this blowing up, they didn't lose those sets. They just didn't need them. And 13 sets that were duplicates? 13 sounds like a lot, but it's not tens of thousands of dollars worth of Lego. And that's what's still missing. By the way, she did return them. So, hello, already better than corporate.
To one of your previous questions, this is one of the things that still rankles me, and it relates to this. The termination agreement that they, offered us and that they wanted us to sign, and also in our conversation with Kai, the representative of corporate, the night of
who was on the phone in that video, right?
Yeah.
They kept saying, we will provide you with a complete inventory.
Yep.
And had they done that, all these questions would have been resolved because we would have been able to say, well, here's our spreadsheet. Here's your complete inventory. Okay, these things all match. This lines up. You are, compensating us correctly.
Hey, it's Ghost Rider. And that's exactly right. And we're only going to watch a little bit more of this, but this is a thing where corporate is absolutely at fault. If I go somewhere and one of my kids breaks something, they don't have to pay for it. They're a kid. I have to pay for it. And corporate versus franchise operates kind of the same way. corporate is responsible when they take over a store to do any issues, fix any problems. It's their responsibility because it's their name on the line. So at the end of the day, if they didn't do that inventory, this is on corporate. It's on corporate. The part with Tattle. Where's the part with Tattle? I don't know where that part is. I don't remember.
They think you're selling the raw, you're not using sesame seeds on your Big Mac bun.
What the frick? Sesame seeds. I mean, sesame seeds are the size of some Lego. Wow, loading. How cool.
6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, when I locked the doors and turned off the sign, Brandon watched me take it off of the shelf, put it in a cart, and roll it back to the storage room and put it in the safe.
So they knew for a fact where it was.
Yeah. And then Brandon was back there in that room with me as I was taking pictures and videos of the section of the collection and the other store Lego in that storage room.
Did you take pictures of the entire store before you left it?
I took pictures of everything that I could get to in time. There was a small section in the very back of the storage room behind the last case that I couldn't get to. And then there's some more parts like behind the counter where I couldn't, things might have been behind other stuff. But we took pictures and video of absolutely everything we could get to.
Yeah,
I didn't get any pictures or video.
Confusion because CoffeeZilla did this absolute deep dive into our photo evidence, which was yeoman's work on his part, his team. But because we couldn't see some things, they weren't included in our
And there's some sets that you can't see because my angle was wrong and you couldn't see the number. You could only identify the box. I didn't get any pictures that night of my office. Because we had no Lego sets in there. It was just operating equipment, the printer and stuff like that, the cash safe.
So they were in the store. And that's where the picture evidence comes in. There you go.
Print safe from Bryan's collection, but and I think had I not approached it from that perspective of I've already built a base here. I've already developed these relationships. I'm very excited to move into the ownership aspect of it. Then I think a lot of those things I would have picked up on had I not. But then you're also dealing with a, upstanding, Mormon, family-based business people that you're not expecting that while you're letting all these little things slide and focusing on the day-to-day of running the business, they're creating a ledger of these things that they can build up and then use against you.
And that's where the big scam comes in. They're just building evidence so that they can take over their franchisees' stores. Now, I have heard that some franchisees are rallying together to try to take action against corporate. But I mean, honestly, at this point, if you're not trying to change your name to something else, you got to be more informed. I'm sorry. Okay, so In a Disguise gave us a little bit of context here. They were not able to ask a judge for a third-party audit because they need the inventory report, which was never done, but is part of their termination agreement, and so corporate should have done that. But you need a inventory report to dispute no inventory report, so there's nothing to dispute, right? So they need to have that in order to say they lied on this or whatever. If they don't have it, then the judge is like, okay, well, it's just your word saying that they lost this or whatever. So, I mean, we're not going to do anything, right? So catch-22, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I'm sure there are more nuanced legal definitions behind that, but yeah.
I mean, a heads up for folks in the future, when you are dealing with something like this, rather than getting into a situation like ours where we were having to go out the next morning and find an attorney, get an attorney. Get an attorney.
That's what the California store did right when they did this.
Already had representation.
Yeah.
And so.
All right, let's see if we can find the part about the bird.
I love that.
All right, I have one last question. The world wants to know, is the bird safe?
I don't know.
Oh, dang it.
Do not know.
We don't know what happened.
We don't know. So
Shoot.
I watched
Tattle.
a couple of days after they took the store. There was one security camera that remained pointing at the dumpsters. And I watched a couple of days later, Josh load Tattle's cage in the back of his truck with a bunch of garbage. I could not get a clear view whether the Tattle was still in there or not. I called animal control with a concern because it's a born in captivity domesticated bird with his wings clipped in the middle of November in Oregon, outside in the elements if he's in the cage. And I never heard anything back from that. We never got any word from corporate saying, we've changed our mind, you can now come take the bird. We've never from anything until that video that came out where they said he took it to a shelter. We're still trying to get information from corporate to provide, because in Oregon.
Okay, so they said they took it to a shelter. Who knows if that actually happened or not?
Cannot surrender any animal at any shelter without paying a fee, signing a contract, and
And you know they didn't do that. They ain't paying for nothing. They ain't paying for no bird. They don't care about a bird.
like giving your information. So that's part of the thing that we're having our attorney ask for them as we go into this discovery is
What shelter?
Where did
Like
Tattle
what
come
shelter?
from? Like, was Tattle your bird before, or was the shop's bird? Like, what's the story?
well, it's one of the first things that I did after we bought the
Yeah, I know.
store, because this is gonna be in my dreams when I went, if I had the dream job, what would it be? Mine was always a cozy little bookstore, coffee shop that had a
Sheba and some lady who didn't take her purse off before she sat down reading a book that's unmarked with one. Oh, never mind.
like a shop pet. And that was always my, like, if I ever won the lottery and I got my dream job, right? Lego store wasn't quite the same, but it was also one of these silly things of like, I always imagined if I owned my own business, it would have its own little mascot, right?
And Tattle was the mascot. Well, it would be nice if we could find Tattle. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that Tattle is. I feel like Tattle is toast. I'm sorry. The real Tattler is Ammon Mcneff on himself. But yeah, honestly, I think birds, and I think this is where Amy's getting to. Like, birds are kind of hard to take to shelters because I think there are only certain shelters that take birds. But having said that, if these people have no moral conduct to help their franchisees keep their businesses, who are people trying to feed their families, I seriously doubt they have compassion for a bird. So, yeah. No bird. That bird flew the coop. Well, craziness, you guys. This is craziness. I mean, this was a great interview. We didn't watch all of it. If you guys want to watch it, the Husband and Wife Law Team is a fabulous channel. I highly recommend subscribing to them after you subscribe here and watching their videos because, like I said, they are very entertaining. But yeah, I think Tattle's gone, unfortunately. So, internet, if you were looking for Tattle, I'm sorry. But we have some other news, and we're going to change this up with some different current events. Actually, you know what? We've been talking about this for a long time. And when I talk about something for a long time, I get a little bit of an appetite. I work up a little bit of a hankering for something good. That's why it is, in fact, That's right, my friends. It is, in fact, snack time. And today I have an absolute abomination of nature to share with you. I can't believe I'm doing this. Okay, everyone. For snack time today, we have, and yes, I pre-made these and they are now not warm. So, Jif peanut butter ramen noodles. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Jif peanut butter ramen noodles. Why can't it focus? Focus, you jerk. Come on. There we go. That's right. That's right. It is Jif peanut butter ramen noodles. Now, you may be asking yourself, why would they make this? I'm asking the same question. Who wants a peanut butter stir fry? Well, to be honest, Thai food does use a lot of peanuts and stuff in it. And so my hope is this is more like a Thai peanut sauce than it is just straight up death. So let's give this a try. It's you can see it's a little congealé in there. Okay, I'm gonna stop showing that so this doesn't get demonetized. Okay. Now, smell, I'm gonna say smell is like an 8 out of 10. I know that sounds wild, but this smells like peanut butter. So at least it's not false advertising. All right. Better question, why would you eat it? Well, to your previous question, it's not a tattle kebab. So, you know, we're doing pretty good. Why would I eat this? Because after eating the s'mores ramen with Paxton, I don't think I can ever eat anything worse. So, here we go. Down the hatch. I'm not going to throw up on camera, I promise. All right. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. Shut your dirty mouth. You're not going to like this. You are not going to like what I'm about to say. I love it. I'm not kidding. I think these noodles are fabulous. What? They taste exactly like a Thai peanut sauce with like a little more peanut butter in it. So it's like really salty peanut butter noodles. I think they are so good, actually. Yeah. It's not exactly like a pad Thai flavor, but it kind of has that like peanut curry kind of. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to eat this whole thing and buy another one. This is so good. That is insane. And I just got this at the regular grocery store. So I'm going to give Jif stir-fry style peanut butter flavored ramen with other natural and artificial flavors, net weight 2.65 ounces, 75 grams, 3 minutes in the microwave or 4 minutes with boiling water. 8 out of 10. This is good. I like it. I don't know what the frick, dude. Hey, you can say I'm sick. I think it's good. I'm eating this after the show. This is good, dude. And I'm just going to keep it here. I'm just going to keep it here to rub in what a disgusting degenerate I am. But next week, I'm very excited for snack time because we have all of the flavors of the Korean bros. Anyway, we got all the flavors of these. So, holy crap. Those were good. I'm down with that, dude. All right. That was really good. Trust me, it should not be that good. But let's go into some more current events. Now, if you have been paying attention to San Diego Comic-Con, which we are now going to shift into talking about, you know that they had a crazy Avengers Doomsday panel in Hall H where they showed a new trailer, announced a bunch of stuff, and then this happened.
And this is for all the Avengers. Do you think you can beat Doom? Have you made plans or preparations? Are you prepared to die?
Sorry, who's this guy with the swords and stuff?
Yes, the goat.
You had your hand up, maybe?
Yeah. Can we get him a microphone? Can we get a microphone?
Oh, I have one.
Look at it. I want you to just pay attention to this guy right here. Just the unfiltered joy on this face. That's a face you see before you die.
What's on your mind, buddy?
Long time listener, first time caller. Huge fan. Look at that cast. Thank you. I'm not wearing the Doom mask over this mask because I didn't want to ruin the lines with my Canadian tuxedo. My name is Ricky. That's a mononym like Cher or Madonna. And I'm just cosplaying hard right now.
Come on, stop loading.
Is there a question in here somewhere?
I do have a question, actually. I have a question for two questions. First question is for Mr. Paul Rudd. Where is Thor, and why was he crying?
Where is Thor?
Yes.
And why is Thor crying?
Why was he crying?
He's a Wrexham fan.
Ooh, got him.
Snap!
The second knows blood. You know goddamn well why he was crying, Rudd. Second question. Moving on. This seems an awfully expensive way to announce a film.
Elias Calderon, professional.
When do you start filming?
Wait. Doomsday?
Doomsday? It's Doomsday. When does that start shooting?
It's in the can, bro. Look around you. Did you bump your head?
I see.
Yeah.
So there's no additional photography, no overages, hot costs, maybe last-minute additions.
You know, I don't. We keep making the movie until they pry it out of our hands. So.
And yes, if you were wondering, that is in fact Ryan Reynolds. So, if you're excited about Avengers Doomsday, I am. Yeah, I think this pretty much confirms that Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is going to at least make a cameo because he just commissioned a new suit. He just showed up. That felt so scripted, dude. Like, it felt so scripted. Maybe it wasn't, but the way, like, RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., talks to him is like, yeah, you guys planned this. So, I'm really hoping Deadpool is in the movie. I had a theory with my friend Cole, who is Crazy Killzone in these comments. I had a theory that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is going to be in this movie as somebody who tries to fight Doctor Doom with the X-Men alongside his X-Men. And how does he get there? I mean, he was in Deadpool and Wolverine. He's with Deadpool. So it's like, it's the only thing that makes sense is that he's in the movie and he's going to lead Wolverine to Doom. But you liked him best as Van Wilder. Wow, that's an old school pull. I don't think I've ever even seen that movie all the way through. It came out when I was in like middle school. Yeah, dude. So super excited. I love that Ryan Reynolds crashed the Hall H Doomsday panel. That's so awesome. But we got even more news. Freaking Variety reporting Ryan Gosling is going to be Ghost Rider. That's like not the person that I would have guessed would play Ghost Rider. But hey, I think that's cool, man. He seems to like to drive things, so maybe that's his like Tom Cruise sprinting trope is like Ryan Gosling's always driving something. But the reason that I like this article and the reason I want to bring it up, we don't quite know which Ghost Rider Ryan Gosling's going to be playing unless something just came out. But I'm excited to see him as Ghost Rider, and it's funny because it's Ava Mendes, right? I think Ava Mendes, who was in the original Ghost Rider movie with Nicolas Cage, is his wife, is Ryan Gosling's wife. So that's actually super cool that his wife was in a Ghost Rider movie and he's going to be Ghost Rider. So that's actually pretty sick. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is Ryan Gosling pitched his own Ghost Rider movie to Marvel, which is, yeah, whatever. Also, Sean Levy, who is the director of such things as Deadpool and Wolverine, Free Guy, several other great movies. I believe he directed The Fall Guy, which Ryan Gosling was just in, which was excellent, by the way. If you haven't seen that, super fun. As a stunt person, I love that movie. Marvel Studios plans to slow down output to restore quality, with a quote saying, "When quantity is so much, you get spread thin," right? We also got an announcement for Black Panther 3. I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I'm not like strongly attached to the Black Panther series. I watched them. They're good. I don't know. Like, it'll be cool to see a third one. I think it's fun to like have his son or whatever at the end of the second movie be the next one. That's fun. That's cool. Okay, we'll see. But let's look at this. A lot of it is a strategy we've talked about for a while of focusing on quality. Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige told Empire Magazine at Comic-Con about the sparser release calendar. "We always try to focus on quality, but when quantity is so much, you get spread thin. We didn't want to be spread thin, and thank you for that ad. We didn't want to be spread thin, and the Avengers is as important as it comes. And Secret Wars is a setup in and of itself to the future, to what's next. So really, it was landing those two movies and setting up 2028, of which we revealed 2 of them so far, Ghost Rider and Black Panther 3. With the television series Vision Quest, which is a sequel spin-off to WandaVision, arriving on Disney Plus in October, the Marvel Cinematic Universe will be getting a total of 4 new entries across 2 years. So essentially 2 a year if it's spread out evenly. That's a massive slowdown from the exhaustive output Marvel previously delivered across theaters and streaming, where there were 6 Marvel movie and TV projects in 2023 alone. So if you're going year by year, that's triple what they're going to release per year over the next couple of years. Marvel's overexpansion into Disney Plus streaming content was the start of a quantity trumping quality at the studio, which he now seems to be actively course correcting. Bob Iger, who is Disney's former CEO, also cited Marvel's push into streaming as a reason for its disappointing critical and commercial run across 2023 and 2024. They had not been in the TV business at any significant level. Not only did they increase their movie output, but they ended up making a number of television series, and frankly, it diluted focus and attention. That is, I think, more of the cause than anything. Look, I think as a studio, when you step back and you sit down and you look at your calendar and you say, Echo? Ironheart? What is this crap? And regardless of whether you liked those shows or not, there really isn't any debating that they shouldn't exist. Why can't you tell enough of a story in a season of Daredevil or in a season of Hawkeye that you have to explain where Kingpin has been, and we have to watch this dumb show about this girl that just like fights people. It's meaningless. It's meaningless. You know? Oh, okay. This girl is the next Iron Man. Oh, okay. Cool. Why? Oh, I don't know. She was just in a movie that we made. Okay, sweet. I think there were a lot of things that set up other things. But were they really necessary? I don't think so. Because yeah, it was all because of Mephisto, who I also have a theory is probably in Spider-Man Brand New Day. But yes, Kevin Feige, this is a tweet or an X from him. Kevin Feige on whether Ryan Gosling will play Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch. I mean, or he could play someone else. He doesn't have to be one of those two. There could be a different Ghost Rider. Why not? And bring back Nicolas Cage to like teach him and mentor him. That'd be sick. I'm going to let Ryan reveal what he wants to reveal when he wants to reveal it. And what he wanted to reveal today is he's playing Ghost Rider. Thanks. Okay. That is fine. Yeah, Spider-Verse, but Ghost Rider. Exactly. I'm excited to see Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider. I'll see Black Panther 3. What I'm really excited about is Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming this weekend, and I am super pumped about it. And yeah, if you were watching this channel over the weekend, you saw that we released a little parody trailer that is actually performing decently well for this channel. So I'm pretty happy about that, pretty excited about that. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's only a 2-minute watch. So feel free to check it out, share it with your friends. And I am super pumped. In fact, Bad Movie Bingo this week may even be Spider-Man related. Yes. Oh, the theaters are going to be so packed. So packed. Crazy Killzone says, do you have any BTS for it? To which I respond, shut up. You know I have BTS for it, and you know it's embarrassing because you were there and you filmed it. Anyway, you guys will never see that BTS. You'll never see it ever because it's some of the most embarrassing footage I have ever taken in my life. Yes. So let's just say I probably could not be Spider-Man in real life. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. So I am super excited about Spider-Man. I have not seen Supergirl. I know a lot of people are talking about Supergirl. I have not seen it. I don't know if I want to. After all the reviews, I think the only thing out right now that I really want to see is The Odyssey. I haven't seen that yet, and hopefully I can sometime soon. But yeah, this week, again, I'm working on an edit for a video, long-form video, that may be coming out this weekend. It may be coming out another time that focuses on this guy right here. Pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. I did not see Obsession yet. Actually, my wife and I were going to watch that together, and then she got scared, so we didn't. But I am going to watch it myself. I am very excited about Spider-Man, and we do have a Spider-Man-related Bad Movie Bingo. Butts? Frick. Butts? Butts? Anyone? Butts? But let's move into some gaming news. So earlier this week, like still today, portions of the Xbox Live service were completely down. All right. Shortly after the publication of this article, which this article comes, cheers to epic internet power, quantum fiber from AT&T. This is from Mashable. Xbox is down and major outages stop sign in and game launches, including physical game launches. Now, we saw this with the PlayStation Network earlier, but this just further confirms why moving away from physical games is bad, you guys. Crap! Xbox incident update. We apologize for the long-running nature of this issue. Things are slowly improving, though players worldwide may still experience failures launching games, along with potential sign-in and purchase SEOs. Watch here or at support.xbox.com for show more. I don't think it's supposed to say show more, but another update on the game library, sign-in and game launch issue. Our teams are, I'm going to zoom it in because I'm old. Our teams are focused on multiple investigation angles and remain hard at work. Gross. Thanks for your patience while teams keep working. We'll share more details as they become available here or at. Well, so the service was down. And the problem with the service being down as it relates to physical games, obviously if the service is down, you can't download or play like online games. But the issue is, it wasn't even letting people sign into their Xbox. So, you know, on Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, you have to, yeah, it went down right after the Halo release, which is perfect. The issue is, if you can't log in, right? Think about the opening title screens of the Xbox or the PlayStation. If you can't log into your account, you can't play at all. Can't play physical, can't play digital. Now, you can use it without an account and just use your disc, so you can't use any online features for some games. There are some games that require the live service updates and whatever. But here's the problem, right? If we don't have any more physical games and these outages happen more regularly because everything's digital, are you telling me that my console is just going to be bricked sometimes? Hashtag brick by brick. Are you telling me that my console will be unusable sometimes just because the live service is down? That's not a good excuse, dude. That's like me buying a banana, but I have to keep it in a glass case. And I just look at it. Okay, cool. I want it. I need the fiber. Keeps me regular. Anyway, gross. So, I believe the issue is fixed now, but come on, man. I got a video I've been working on for physical games for a while. I've been working on the script and some of the shots and stuff. So that will be coming out because I love physical media and no one can tell me that digital's better. I mean, you can tell me, obviously. I won't agree with you, but you can tell me. What up? How's it going? Oh, there's a planned PlayStation boycott at the end of August. It actually, like, honestly, you guys, it sucks so bad because I love my PlayStation, okay? I switched to PlayStation on the PS4 after I had the Xbox 360 and a second one got the red ring of death. I switched to PlayStation, and one of the first games that I played on the PS4 was the 2018 God of War game. And after I played that, I was like, it might have been the first time in a long time where I was like, wow, games could actually replace movies and TV. Like, this narrative is fabulous. I could play this game for 8 hours straight and not get tired of it. Well, that is until you start, like, getting wrecked on the higher difficulties by those, what were they called? Not angels, but what were they? I don't know. If anybody knows, put it in the comments. Yeah, so let's read some comments on what you guys think about the physical media issue here. I think it's more likely that they cancel the service for the game at any time in the future, making any game that you purchased just disappear. Flash says, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox are really going downhill. Well, yeah. Sony recently nuked over 500 movies and a few games. They just no longer exist. Which is my point, right? Like, if you want your games and you want the games you paid for, you have to have them physically. Because at any point, and this has actually happened to me on like Amazon Prime, I had some movies purchased on Amazon Prime Video, a few, that I can't watch. I paid like $10 for them each. I can't watch them now because the license for them expired and another streaming service did not pick them up. Okay, cool. That sucks. So Sony's doing the exact same thing. If you bought, dude, honestly, do not buy movies from the PlayStation Network. Please don't do it. Just don't. Okay? Especially if it's something older that you have to pay a lot of money for. Like the Austin Powers trilogy is not streaming anywhere. You have to pay for each movie. Frick! Go to the Dirty Goodwill. They probably have every old movie you would ever want. If it's a new thing, you know, that is what it is. But aside from renting, do not buy movies on the PlayStation or Xbox store. Please don't do it. Just do it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, and that's exactly right. Like, yeah, the future could have some interactive games. That would be cool. Yeah, that would be sweet. In 2020, I predicted 99-cent face and voice replacements by 2030. Well, they're not 99 cents, but you can create digital avatars on pretty much any AI service, so you're pretty much right on that. I still have my OG Nintendo and games. My kids play them. They'll never get to grow up and have that experience with their games, with their kids, and that really freaking sucks. Well, they will. I mean, I plan to have my kids each fight each other to the death over my consoles. So we'll see who ends up winning. You know, we'll see. Brain over brawn. We'll see what happens. Anyway, yeah, it's really crazy right now because, you know, everybody's saying like, oh, ending physical games is the end of an era kind of thing. It's the end of like 40 years of gaming. It's not the end of an era. It's the end of gaming as we know it. Digital games, to me, were always an add-on. Yes, Valkyries, that's what they were called. Digital games, to me, were always an add-on. It was always like, oh, they remastered this Assassin's Creed from, you know, 2006. Okay, let me get that digitally because it's on sale for $2. Like, that's what I used digital games for. If there's no physical games, but then again, here's the other thing. What do kids play? All my kids play is Fortnite. There is no physical version of Fortnite. And kids just want their gratification so immediately now and just don't care about buying something in advance or going to a store and picking it up. No, I just want it. I just want it now. Give me my gold water Sprite. Like, that's what they want. They just want everything right now. And a game like Fortnite or Apex Legends or even like, Overwatch, that Marvel game, Marvel Rivals that people were playing for a while. Like, all you do is turn it on and you start playing. But what happens when Marvel Rivals stops being popular? What happens when they stop making money off of it? That game's going to be gone. And you will never be able to play it again. So lots of people are trying to emulate the PS5 now. And it is getting to the point where Sony is like, maybe we messed up. Yeah, exactly. Everybody's going to be emulating your PS5 games because they're all digital. And if we do that, nobody can lose their license because they have the full game downloaded. But obviously, I am not advocating for that. I have a GameStop shirt. Yes, I'm wearing it slightly ironically, but also I still love GameStop. I know. It's like being a battered housewife. I just keep going back to my abuse of GameStop, and I don't know why. I just have I need to go there. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love games like Destiny 2. Love it. Overwatch. Love it. I actually do like some of Fortnite. When they had the Deadpool and Wolverine skins, I'm telling you, dude, frick. I almost jumped back into Fortnite. I actually only have one Fortnite skin that I own, and this will be a piece of trivia, so you better know this. Write it down. The only Fortnite skin that I own. Actually, does anybody know? Put it in the comments. There are 3 people that should know. I don't know. I don't know if my kids know. Are they still watching? POV World, are you still watching? Tell me, do you know which Fortnite skin? I only own one Fortnite skin. Which one is it? Guess in the comments. Let me see. Whoever gets it right gets pinned. Yeah, who can guess? What do you think it is? I'll give you a hint. It's a Marvel character. It's an obscure Marvel character that I bought during like season 3. And I'm talking like years ago. Years ago. Can anybody guess? What is the single Fortnite skin? My kids have 50 Fortnite skins. Oh. Yeah. If them owning 50 Fortnite skins makes me cool, I am the mayor of Coolsville, baby. Anyway, Spider-Man is a great guess, but no. I'll give you another hint. It's an X-Men character. It's an X-Men character. Can you guys guess? Guess what is the single only Fortnite skin that I own? I know this is kind of a dumb question, but it's kind of fun. I don't know. Who can guess? Let's see. It's an X-Men character. Who's going to get pinned? X-Men. Cole, you have won. Congratulations. It is, in fact, Psylocke. Psylocke is the only Fortnite skin that I own. And everybody in the comments is like, what the frick? Who is Psylocke? Psylocke is this awesome ninja girl that has these plasma blades that come out of her hand, and she can use them like swords, but she's also a ninja, so she uses real swords as well. So she's like she's like a ninja, Gambit, Deadpool, and like, I don't know, Omega Red, like all in one character. She's so awesome. Anyway, I love Psylocke. She's the only Fortnite skin I've ever purchased. But anyway, is her name Michelle? I think, I don't know. I don't remember. She's like Wolverine, but different. Anyway, let's get to our last bit of news here. Let's round things out with the PlayStation Plus monthly free games, since all we have is... Oh, I am so mad. I'm so mad. Oh, never mind. Maybe I'm not. Okay. While the reveal is early, the release of these new PS Plus free games for August 26th is happening when they should on August 4th. PS Plus subscribers can check out the last extra games for July: Dying Light Snow Bros, Wonderland, Citizen Sleeper 2, and my favorite out of the bunch, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Rita's Rewind. And yes, I have that both digital and physical because I like it and I want to be able to play it after PlayStation says I can't. So there. Anyway. Oh, dude, we should play Dying Light 2. Would you guys want to see? Okay, here's a question. Would you guys want to see game streams? Because I want to stream some games. I really want to do that. But I'm not sure if I should do it on this channel or not. I feel like I should do it on a different channel. This particular channel, I just kind of want to like do commentaries and all that stuff. We can do some gaming stuff, movie stuff, all those kinds of things. Talk about goofballs like Reckless Ben and stuff, Bricks and Minifigs. Also, this guy looks very sad. Why is he? What's going on with you? What's going on with you, Mr. Duckworth? What's your deal? Anyway, whatever. So, what is coming out this month? Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Signalis, and Big Walk. So, there you go. Those are August free games. I'll be excited to download those. Well, probably not download them. I'll probably just add them to my collection. Yeah, so I am very, very excited to play some more Dying Light because when I played that last, I thought it was freaking awesome. So I'm excited to play that. And now that Destiny's going away and physical games are going away and they're taking my soul, I guess I'll just play that. Yes, I know. Hey, man or lady, thank you very much for saying that. I'm a contrarian. I started here for Ben. I'm sticking around for your electric personality. It's true. I can power a small city with the blink of an eye. Power. Anyway. All right, friends. Well, I think we have pretty much covered everything in the news cycle today. There's a lot more stuff we can talk about. If you want to see the rest of the interview with Ben Gorman and Crystal Law and the husband and wife law team, I highly encourage watching that. It is a pretty fun video. I will be releasing some shorts and stuff over this week, and that big secret video will hopefully be coming out this week. And if not, it will be coming out very, very, very soon. So friends, if you have not done it yet, please feel free to like the stream and subscribe. I'm going to start doing these every single Tuesday. We're going to do some news streams. And then Friday, we are having Bad Movie Bingo. So come and hang out with us on Friday if you want to watch a bad movie and play some bingo. I am so excited to start this new scheme, all these streams, this fun stuff, just getting to hang out with you guys. It's one of my favorite things. Hanging out, doing these live streams, it's so much more fun than just like making a video and hoping you guys like it. Like, it's so fun to hang out with you guys, actually get your thoughts, all that stuff. And I want to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart, from my family's hearts, and just wanted to say a big thank you because yesterday we hit 50,000 subscribers and we are halfway to our goal of 100,000 by Christmas. I would love for right here to have a silver play button right there. That'd be awesome, you guys. That would be so fantastic. So, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your animals. Not tattle, I guess, but no, too soon. Tell everybody you know, come and subscribe, come and hang out, because, hey, we're all the cool kids, and we're all friends, so it's fun to hang out together. And, yeah, I appreciate you guys so much, and I do have one more announcement to make before we end here, because we have just hit 50,000 subscribers, and you guys are the people that join me for streams and hang out with me, and you're the real cool kids here. I'm offering it to you first before the short comes out, announcing that I am doing a 50,000 subscriber giveaway where one lucky person that does a comment on the bottom of a short that I'm going to release will be entered to win a $50 Amazon gift card, just because I appreciate you guys. So we are doing a 50,000 subscriber, $50 Amazon gift card giveaway, and I'm announcing it to you guys first. So look for the short. It's going to come out either tomorrow or Thursday, and the comment will be 50. Crazy. And we will spin the wheel next Tuesday to figure out who will win. So thank you guys so much for watching. I deeply appreciate all of you. It is so great to hang out with you guys. And I guess the only thing left to say is cowabunga. Just kidding. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.